Make an entrance. Make a run. And then make history. Make a difference. Make good on your word. Make it big league. But most of all, make it great again. Trump.
When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time. Raising the cap, raising the retirement age for people who are now 30 years old, raising the tax on Social Security, cutting benefits. They're all things that have to be discussed, quite frankly. The American people know we have to fix Social Security. They know we can't grow our way to a solution. They know we're going to have to make some tough decisions.
Would you consider looking at those programs? Age of eligibility,
Absolutely.
Cost of living, put it all on the table?
The answer is absolutely you have to. We are going to change the retirement age for Social Security.
We will always protect Social Security and Medicare for our great seniors. Biden can't do that. As president, I kept that promise, and I will keep it once again. I will not, under any circumstances, allow either of these two precious gems to be even touched under a Trump administration. You will always have your Social Security in full as you have it now, and you will always have your Medicare. Social Security will be strong and powerful. Medicare will be strong. You deserve it. I will always protect Medicare and Social Security for our great seniors.
Please welcome the 45th president.
We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing 18 million people, many from prisons, many from mental institutions? Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months, and then it blew up under his leadership. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country. My retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation.
The green's right over there. It's that way. Look, sir, just bend a little bit that way and swing away and just straight up. It's fine. Great.
I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6.
All right, y'all, here we go. We are here. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know in the comment section, can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know. Salute to everybody that's here. Make sure you please hit that like button as you coming in. If y'all can hear me, please hit that like button. Hit that like button so we can get more people up in here. Sound is good? Okay. I see Angela, Chuck, Ty, Dolores. Okay, I hear you. Everybody said they can hear me. All right, let's go ahead and jump straight into this. I know I was supposed to went live yesterday, but like I said, I haven't been really just feeling well. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to try to work through it today. Don't know how long this live going to be. Might be an hour, might be an hour and a half. Don't really know yet. But let's go ahead and jump straight into this because they are talking about replacing Joe Biden. We hearing Hillary Clinton. We hearing Michelle Obama. I mean, we hearing Gavin Newsom. I mean, it done got bad. I mean, they are panicking right now. The Democrats are panicking. So I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all some clips right here. And then Nancy Pelosi, if y'all see my video earlier, she showed up on CNN just drunk. This woman's eyes was bloodshot red, watery. She was toe up. I think Nancy Pelosi had her some whiskey last night or something before she went on CNN this morning. It was bad. She went on there and told so many lies that it just didn't make no sense. How this woman sat there and lied, and Dana Bash didn't give a no pushback. Just sit there and let Nancy Pelosi sit up there and just lie like that. That was ridiculous. So let's go ahead and dive straight into this. Salute to everybody that said that they can hear me. But let's look at some of the candidates that they got that they think can replace Joe Biden, which it don't really matter if they replace Joe Biden because I don't see anybody that they got that can beat Donald Trump. Who do they have that can beat Donald Trump? They have nobody. Gavin Newsom, Michelle Obama don't even want to do it. So it don't really matter who y'all got that's going to try to defeat Donald Trump within 5 months. Who? And then if they was to switch out Joe Biden, whoever they get, who's going to be the vice president? If they just say, for instance, they get Gavin Newsom, who's going to be Gavin Newsom's vice president? Who Gavin Newsom's vice president going to be? So like I said before, it don't really matter who they get. They have nobody that can beat Donald Trump. The only way for us to save this country, we have to get Donald Trump back in office. It's point blank period. You have to get Donald Trump back in office. This country is going to hell because of Joe Biden. He has destroyed this country. He was out of it during the debate. And look what happened. Look how the Dems just straight turned on Joe Biden after one debate. After one debate, look how the Dems straight turned on Joe Biden. Everybody turned on him. All of his people turned on him. Think about that. Nobody is going to defeat Donald Trump. We have to get him back in office. We have to. I mean, at this point, it just don't matter. Let's go ahead and dive straight into this. And let's get the party started. Make sure y'all please hit that like button as y'all coming in. Please hit that like button. That's very, very important. All right. So let's go ahead and dive straight into it, y'all. Let's get the content going, y'all. Let's go.
Hard to sugarcoat it. No one can be happy with President Biden's performance, and anyone who is saying that he did a good job is friggin' delusional. This is going to be solely up to President Biden because he owns the delegates, and he will decide whether he will or will not step down.
Well, President Biden back on the campaign trail in New York and New Jersey today, showing no signs of stepping aside amid calls from some Democrats and editorial pundits to do just that. So who could potentially step in if he steps out? Christina Coleman live in Los Angeles with a look at the potential replacements if it gets to that. Hey, Christina.
Hi, Eric. Yeah, that's right. After President Biden's rough debate performance Thursday night, many media outlets and political analysts said it is time for Biden to step aside. And as for his possible replacement, there's several names that have been floated around a lot, including California Governor Gavin Newsom. Even though Republicans can easily slam him over the high taxes, chronic crime, and homelessness in this state, this Democratic governor does not shy away from the cameras or making national headlines. Some political analysts believe he's been running.
I said the same thing. How is Gavin Newsom going to be a president? He can't even take care of California. That's the thing. Gavin Newsom cannot take care of California. How in the world is this man can be president? How? I want somebody to answer me that. How can Gavin Newsom become a president when he can't take care of California? All the things going on in California. How? I really want to know that. I mean, I just don't get it. I really just don't get it. Let's keep it going, though.
a shadow campaign. He has been making presidential moves for months now, visiting Israel shortly after Hamas's October 7th attack and making a trip to China to discuss climate initiatives. He ran abortion rights ads in Republican-controlled states, and he went head-to-head with former GOP presidential contender Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in a debate moderated by Sean Hannity right here on Fox last year. Newsom was at the presidential debate on Thursday. After Biden's rough performance, he was asked about replacing the president. Here is his response.
If you're asked, would you be willing to take that ticket? Everyone's told you you're willing to take on Donald Trump.
Never turn my back on.
Are you ready to take him?
Would you urge the president to reconsider moving? Absolutely not. 100%. Never turn my back. I don't know. That's a personal point of view. I do not have one Democrat that would do that.
Another Democrat whose name keeps getting floated for a presidential contender is Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. She leads a swing state that is critical for Democrats to win. The second-term governor also helped flip both chambers of the state legislature blue with her fight for abortion rights, a key issue among Democrats this election season. And we cannot go without mentioning former First Lady Michelle Obama and Vice President Kamala Harris. Both women are...
All right, look at this right here, y'all. Look at these names right here. Possible Biden replacements. VP Harris, Whitmer, Buttigieg, Shapiro, Polis, Gavin Newsom, Warnock, Michelle Obama, Klobuchar, and Beshear. Like, I mean, come on, it's a bunch of no names on here. It's a bunch of no names. Think about this. A bunch of no names on here that they think, I mean, their best option is basically Joe Biden. To be honest with you, I mean, who else is Michelle Obama already said she don't even want to do it. Michelle Obama already said she don't even want to do it. So they can really just take her off the list. She don't want to do it. So who in the world do they got on that list that can do it? And then you got Gavin Newsom talking about, I would never turn my back on Joe Biden. I would never turn my back on Joe Biden. I mean, they got a bunch of nobodies over there. Like, come on, man. A bunch of nobodies. Look at this. Look at these names.
Oh,
yeah, in a minute, we're going to watch and listen to how Kamala Harris sit up there and lied and cried, and the CNN host absolutely had to tell her that she's wrong. She tried to flip it after he was asking her, what do you think about Joe Biden's performance tonight? And she want to go back to, well, we ain't going to worry about that one night. What about what he did 3 years? We ain't talking about 3 years ago, Kamala. We talking about what he did tonight. We talking about what he did tonight at that debate. Joe Biden was lost. Like, I mean, if we look at it, let me pull this up real quick. Oh, yeah, and just to let everybody know, like I said, make sure you please hit that like button as you coming in. I'm telling you, we about to get down to it. But just in case y'all have a hard time sleeping, Donald Trump asked me to make sure I play this on the live stream if you have a hard time sleeping. Let's go.
If you're having trouble sleeping, ask your doctor about Bidenica, the sleep aid made from 100% Joe Biden press conference.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Bidenica has a patented blend of confusion and forgetfulness that will calm the most overactive brains.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
When they sold out American jobs and killed the Keystone Pipeline, it kept me up all night worrying about how we'd pay our bills. But then I got Bidenica, and I've never slept better.
Sometimes when I get hopped up on sugar, my parents give me Bidenica so I pass out. Other times they give it to me during the day, probably so they can do the deed. Gross.
Warning. People who have used Bidenica have experienced rampant lying and an inability to secure the southern border. Others have hallucinated and fought breakfast cereals.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Ask your doctor if Bidenica is right for you.
So have anybody tried Bidenica? Let me know in the comment section, have you tried Bidenica, or do you have any plans of trying Bidenica? Donald Trump wanted me to make sure I played that. That came from his True Social. He wanted to make sure that I played that in front of everybody. Let me know. Have anybody tried Bidenica? You would get the best sleep ever if you try Bidenica. If you go to the doctor, ask your doctor to prescribe you with some Bidenica. Make sure you do that. Now let's get on back into this this list that they think they got these people that can replace Joe Biden, which I'm just saying Joe Biden pretty much their best option. I don't see nobody else that they got. Let's get back to it.
Popular among Democrats. The Washington Post including them in a list of potential Biden replacements. In addition, the Democrat Josh Shapiro, who won a solid victory for governorship in 2022 in Pennsylvania, a purple state, which is critical for the Democrats' hopes of winning the White House this November. Eric?
We shall see. All right, Christina. Thank you.
Hey, Sean.
All right. There we go. Right there. That, who they got? Y'all let me know, who do y'all think that they got that can replace Joe Biden? I'm waiting. And while we waiting on that, let's go ahead and get straight to this next part where Kamala Harris just sit up there and straight lied through her teeth. This woman sit up here and just straight lied. Let me pull this up real quick just so y'all can see it. This is just crazy. Old liar Kamala. Tell the truth about old Biden. Tell the truth about Biden.
Some within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside. What do you say to that?
Listen, first of all, what we saw tonight is the president making a very clear contrast with Donald Trump on all of the issues that matter to the American people. Yes, there was a slow start, but it was a strong finish. And what became very clear through the course of the night is that Joe Biden is fighting on behalf of the American people, on substance, on policy, on performance. Joe Biden is extraordinarily strong. And
but I'm sorry,
that
on
cannot
substance
be
and
debated.
policy and performance tonight, the president's performance tonight clearly was disappointing for his supporters. CNN is reporting Democratic lawmakers watching the debate were worried about the president's performance. One said it was a disaster. Another called it a train wreck. Those are Democrats especially worried that Biden did not punch back on Trump's lies.
Tell the truth, Kamala.
Listen, people can debate on style points, but ultimately this election and who is the president of the United States has to be about substance. And the contrast is clear. Look at what happened during the course of the debate. Donald Trump lied over and over and over again.
My God. You see, this is what I be talking about. When they asked them a question about Joe Biden, what did Joe Biden do? That's what Anderson Cooper asked her. What you think about Joe Biden's performance? And what do her and Nancy Pelosi always do? They refer everything back to Donald Trump. Oh, Donald Trump was sitting up there lying. No, Joe Biden lied all night. Joe Biden literally lied all freaking night. Like, come on. You didn't really hear no Democrats saying that Donald Trump was lying. They said Donald Trump just did him bad. The first opening statement, Joe Biden was mumbling and stumbling. The first opening statement. And here she go again, trying to big up Joe Biden and bring up, oh, Donald Trump was lying all night. Like, come on, man. It's crazy that they always do this. Tell the truth, Kamala. Tell the truth.
He is want.
Oh, and by the way, let me go back up. Thank you for the 20, Phil Ticchio. Appreciate it. Said, keep up the awesome work. Thank you, Phil. I really, really appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that shows support to the channel. Everybody that, that donates. Everybody that's in here, that hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate everybody that always super chat, that always leave a cash out. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that from all of you. Thank you. And then Wes Smith come with the $10. Thank you, Wes. He said, we need Trump back. I can't pay these prices forever. Hey, I'm with you, Wes. I'm with you. That's the reason why I get on here every single day. I barely even miss a day of uploading, is how much I got respect for Donald Trump, how much respect that I got for him, because I'm going to continue to post the message and make sure that my people get it. You know what I'm saying? So whatever I got to do, especially on my end, I'm going to do it. I'm going to support Donald Trump. I'm not going to stop supporting Donald Trump. I remember I was going to tell this story. I went to a restaurant one day, and it's this couple I know that's a Democrat. And Lily was mad because I said I support Donald Trump. And I told them, I said, I support Donald Trump. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you feel. I support who I support. That's just what it is. And I asked them, I said, do you think Joe Biden is doing a good job? And when they told me yes, I literally just walked on out the store. I didn't even want to talk to him no more. You sit up there and just lied in my face for no reason. You saying Joe Biden is doing a good job, and then you turn around and you mad at me for supporting Donald Trump? We ain't got nothing else to talk about. I'm gone. I'm getting up out of here. But appreciate that, Wes Smith. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. So let's go ahead and get back into it, because, you know, Kamala, she's sitting up here lying right now. And like I said, appreciate the love, appreciate the support, everybody that's donated. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And let's go ahead and get back to it, y'all.
To do. He would not disavow what happened on January 6th. He would not give a clear answer on whether he would stand by the election results this November. He went back and forth about where he stands.
Oh my, y'all listen to this crap by Kamala. And thank you, Kenneth Bennett, for the $2. Thank you, Kenneth. I really appreciate it. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Listen to this crap that Kamala just said again. They be trying to pick everything Donald Trump said. Just like this morning, look at this. Just like this morning, Nancy Pelosi gonna say that, oh, Donald Trump, he was the reason for the January 6th happening. But I literally got mad this morning. I'm like, why she never said, well, Nancy, what about that video that you posted of you admitting that J6 was your fault? Donald Trump said he sent the National Guard. You the one who denied it because you don't like Donald Trump. And now she wanted to blame it on Donald Trump. Like, come on. I'm telling you, Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi, they're like two peas in a pot. I'm telling you, man, it's just ridiculous how these folks sit up there and lie. But Anderson, I ain't gonna lie, Anderson Cooper were literally like getting her too for these lies. He wasn't playing. He wasn't letting her get around, like not answering these questions. Answer the question, woman. Answer the question. Let's go.
On one of the most critical issues of freedom in America, which is the right of a woman to make decisions about their own body. He has been completely ambiguous and all over the place about where he stands on that issue, despite the fact that he hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And that's exactly what they did. And just 3 years ago, we commemorated the 2-year anniversary of Dobbs, wherein women across our country have been denied emergency health care.
All that may be true. All that may be true. But the president of the United States was not able to make that case to Donald Trump on the stage tonight. I mean, you debated against then Vice President Biden 4 years ago, and he was a very different person on the stage 4 years ago when you debated him. That's certainly true, is it not?
Anderson, the point has to be performance in terms of what a president does. A president who incites an insurrection against the Capitol. No, but I got the point that you're making about a 1.5 hour debate tonight. I'm talking about 3.5 years of performance in work that has been historic.
Oh my God!
But is that the man?
Ain't nobody talking about 4 years ago. Kamala Harris, the man Anderson Cooper is asking you, what do you think about Joe Biden's performance tonight? She keep want to go back 3-4 years ago. He ain't talking about 3 and 4 years ago. He asking you, what do you think about Joe Biden's performance tonight? And she cannot answer it. She want to revert back to Donald Trump lying and all type of stuff. I mean, come on. Kenneth, thank you for the $10. Appreciate the support that's coming in through the channel. Thank you, everybody that's showing support. I really, really appreciate it, man. Thank y'all. Y'all know how much this really mean to me. I really appreciate it. And then Jason Robinson come out of nowhere with $10. Thank you, Jason. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all of you that's showing support. Appreciate you, Jabba, with the $1. Thank you. Appreciate everybody showing support, man. I really appreciate it. Then we got Marcos Marquez with the $5 with the super sticker. Appreciate you, Marcos. I really appreciate it. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Let's keep it going with these lies that Nancy Pelosi don't have a problem telling.
Who we saw on the stage tonight, is that the
other
person
guy
you
on
see
the
in
debate
meetings every day?
stage? The person that you saw on the debate stage that has, for the last 3.5 years, up until today, performed in a way that has been about, whether it be in the Oval Office, negotiating bipartisan deals so that we have an infrastructure, a real infrastructure plan where we're putting trillions of dollars on the streets of America to upgrade our infrastructure. Whether it be the person I see in the Oval Office who is meeting with heads of the military and the intelligence community and in the Situation Room, ensuring the safety of America. The person I see in Joe Biden on the world stage, convening world leaders who often ask for his advice, most recently just during the G7 conference. So I'm not going to spend all night with you talking about the last 90 minutes when I've been watching the last 3.5 years of performance.
But this was a debate that your campaign wanted. You pushed for this debate at this moment. Obviously, I mean, you can't honestly say, I mean, can you say that you are not concerned at all having watched the president's performance tonight?
It was a slow start. That's obvious to everyone. I'm not going to debate that point. I'm talking about the choice in November.
No, Kamala, it was not a slow start. It was a slow start when he showed up. Look, it was a slow start the entire night. Joe Biden was horrible. He was bad. That's why you seen all the Democrats was crying afterwards. Like, she literally don't want to tell the truth. Anderson Cooper, he trying to hold her to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't letting her get out of not answering these questions about what she think about Joe Biden's performance. But yet they always want to lean back towards Donald Trump. And you know what? The main thing is that I think she needs some Bidenica. That's exactly what Kamala Harris needs. She needs some Bidenica.
If you're having trouble sleeping, ask your doctor about Bidenica, the sleep aid made from 100% Joe Biden press conference.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Bidenica has a patented blend of confusion and forgetfulness that will calm the most overactive brains.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. I mean, you think about it.
When they sold out American jobs and killed the Keystone Pipeline, it kept me up all night worrying about how we'd pay our bills. But then I got Bidenica, and I've never slept better.
Sometimes when I get hopped up on sugar, my parents give me Bidenica so I pass out. Other times they give it to me during the day, probably so they can do the deed. Gross.
Warning: people who have used Bidenica have experienced rampant lying and an inability to secure the southern border. Others have hallucinated and fought breakfast cereals.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Ask your doctor if Bidenica is right for you.
Well, Bidenica. Thank you, Lynn Harder. Appreciate the $10. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate you, Lynn. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you to all the support. I really, really appreciate it. But let's keep this lie going that seems like Kamala can't stop doing.
I'm talking about one of the most important elections in our collective lifetime. And do we want to look at what November will bring and go on a course for America that is about a destruction of democracy, electing a man who has said he'll be a dictator on day one? Or do we want to continue on a course that's about strengthening America's economy, building and creating 15 million American jobs, over 800,000 manufacturing jobs? I got that this is the afterplay for the debate, this conversation that I'm in, and I understand why everyone wants to talk about it, but I think it's also important to recognize that the choice in November between these two people that were on the debate stage involves extraordinary stakes. And there's one person on that stage who has the endorsement of their vice president, and that's Joe Biden. Mike Pence is nowhere to be found in supporting Donald Trump, and that's why he has to look for someone else to run with him, who, as we know, will embolden and rubber stamp whatever he wants, because they're going to have to make a choice to not be Mike Pence and to put Donald Trump over their country.
Neither person on that stage tonight made the argument as coherently as you just did. You mentioned reproductive rights. I'd like to just play that exchange that we saw tonight.
Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? In fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative. Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Wow.
To someone who watched this debate tonight and has serious concerns about the President of the United States, what do you say to them about what they just saw?
They saw they witnessed the fact that if Donald Trump were elected to be president of the United States this November, he will sign a national abortion ban. Take him at his word. He said he would when he was president before. He said if it came to his desk, he'd sign it. There's no reason to believe anything would change. A national abortion ban means that folks in New York, California, Maryland, all these other states that have protected the right of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do will be at risk. That's what you should take away from that discussion.
And just
Joe
finally,
Biden was very clear.
I know we have to go.
He signed back into law the protections of Roe.
Man, come on, Kamala. How the world was Biden very clear when he was mumbling? He mumbled all freaking night. How was he very clear? Biden was not very clear. He was not. This man was mumbling and bumbling and fumbling all freaking night. Even Donald Trump had to look at him. He was, look, I know y'all seen that little side with Donald Trump, because when he got the stuttering, when Joe Biden got the stuttering, Donald Trump was just looking at him like he thought he was gonna fall or something. He was just mumbling with closing his eyes. It was one point Joe Biden fell asleep. Like, come on. Yeah, just like what Penny Sue said, mumbo in the jungle. That's exactly what he was doing. Mumbling in the jungle. I mean, boy, these folks said, but that's enough for Kamala Harris. That's enough of her right there. We see that all she gonna do is sit up here and lie. But here's the thing right here. This is another part right here that I want to show y'all. This right here was the exact moment that Joe Biden lost the debate. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. This right here was the exact moment Joe Biden lost the debate, even though for me, he lost as soon as he showed up. It was already a loss for showing up. I've said it. I predicted it before the video that Donald Trump was gonna dog walk him. I said that. Now let's go to this right here so y'all can see the exact moment that Joe Biden was cooked. He was finished. So let's go ahead and check this out right here.
It took less than 10 minutes for Joe Biden to lose last night's presidential debate against Donald Trump. 10 minutes for Trump to hit Biden so hard, people started to ask, is Biden done?
That was an unmitigated disaster for President Biden.
I've never seen a politician at any level perform like Joe Biden performed.
Joe had the strangest, weirdest stare.
His answers were rambling and incoherent.
He looks like he's
barely surviving. I don't mean the debate, I mean life.
There is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party.
The question is, could it be that Democrats now have to reconsider?
Yes, Biden's big misstep would come about 9 minutes after he first opened his mouth. He was speaking aspirationally about his plan to tax the ultra-rich, but this is how it came out.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID.
Now, y'all pay attention to this part right here. This was the part where you're going to see Donald Trump going to look at Joe Biden. He going to kind of look, and then he going to look back at him because he going to like, oh, something ain't wrong, Joe. He finna start mumbling and bumbling. Here you go. It's finna start. This is what Joe do. Watch this part right here now. Pay attention to this right here.
Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look.
It wasn't good, but it was what he said immediately after that turned what might otherwise have been a bit of a fumble into a fall. Even his own vice president couldn't deny what had happened.
It was a slow start. That's obvious to everyone. I'm not going to debate that point.
And you'll hear from both Republicans and Democrats, Biden's problems were just beginning. I'll show you why.
It was agony in Atlanta for Joe Biden, for Democrats, and frankly, for anyone around the world dreading another Donald Trump presidency, because the chances of another Trump presidency just increased.
You know, you didn't even actually have to get as far as 9 minutes in to start to feel that the night might not go Biden's way. Let's start with the walk.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
How are you?
Two things to notice in that clip. One, Biden's gait.
Looked like he was going to barely make it to the podium.
He's 81 years old. He'll be 86 by the end of his second term if he wins. Whether rightly or wrongly, the way he walks has become a sharp visual reminder of his age. And his campaign knows this because they've tried to overcome it.
And there he is, bounding onto the stage. Just a few weeks short of 78 years old, determined not to show it right now.
Any hope that Biden would find a burst of energy, something that would dispel that visual of him growing stiffer with age, that evaporated the moment he appeared on camera. But the second thing to notice, Biden's voice.
Great to be here. We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left me.
It was rough. It was raspy. It was weak.
Yep. And then, hold on, y'all. Hold on. And then the main part is he tried to say that Joe Biden was sick before the debate. See, they tried to bring up some excuses. The Democrats tried to bring up some excuses that Joe Biden was sick to try to make an excuse for him. When he walked out there, when he first started talking, you can tell he was done. That's the reason why, if people really want to just take it as far, Donald Trump was really taking it easy on Joe Biden, because Donald Trump really could have called all of it out. He could have talked about his voice, by his walk, by him stuttering, by him falling asleep. Donald Trump didn't say anything about that. He really took it easy on Joe Biden, if you really ask me. He really took it easy on him. He still destroyed him, but he took it easy on him, though. Joe must go, just like G-Man said. Joe must go. Let's get back to it, y'all. Because like I said, this right here, it's heating up. It's heating up.
Created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out a position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, but there's more to be done.
Now, there are reports Biden was ill. He had a cold, which happens, but the timing was bad.
Joe Biden sounded hoarse. His energy level appeared to be low. And at multiple points during the debate, he lost his train of thought.
On that point, Biden's train of thought, there were several moments early on where he didn't quite seem sure of his own facts and figures.
What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say.
To be fair, these are small stumbles, but their effect added up.
I'll be the first to admit that that was not a good look in that debate last night.
What does that guy, meaning Joe Biden, look like in 3 years in a negotiation with a world leader? I don't want to find out the answer to that question.
Biden gave a very shaky performance. And I think the real danger for him is that this was a performance that reinforces concerns voters already had about him. We know the biggest thing voters worry about when it comes to the president is his age.
And it got worse.
There are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look
at this. You see what I'm talking about right here? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Donald Trump really took it easy on Joe Biden. He said, look, I don't know what Joe Biden said. I don't even think Joe Biden even know what he just said. I mean, to be honest with you, that right there is just a little bit of what Donald Trump just did. But he really could have took it a step further if he really, really wanted to embarrass Joe Biden, but he didn't. We already knew that Joe Biden was going to come there. Remember, MSNBC, CNN, ABC, like all of these people already revealed that Joe Biden was going to come right in there and call Donald Trump a convicted felon, say he slept with a porn star. See, Donald Trump already knew that right there was coming. He knew Joe Biden was going to come with those lines. The thing that I like about Donald Trump in this debate is that he didn't take the bait. He didn't go to yelling. He didn't go screaming at Joe Biden. Joe Biden said what he had to say, and Donald Trump, the way Donald Trump just countered it was just amazing. And I love the way that Donald Trump, countered everything, because Donald Trump said, you calling me a convicted felon, but your son Hunter is a convicted felon. Joe Biden went silent, couldn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So we already knew what Joe Biden was going to come with. We knew he was coming with the convicted felon talk and the porn star talk. You probably about to go to jail. I mean, all that. Donald Trump knew that was coming. But he stayed poised and he destroyed Joe Biden. Destroyed him. And I enjoy every last bit of it, even though I'm still pissed off at CNN for sitting up there lying to me and lying to Benny Johnson and saying that we couldn't stream the debate. I am still pissed off about that. We literally could have had 11, 12,000 people watching. I was already ready to go, and I seen a lot of people streaming, you know what I'm saying? Because CNN already had threatened me, threatened Benny, threatened a lot of YouTubers that they was going to strike their channel down, but everybody, you know what I'm saying, was streaming. And nothing happened. So when the next debate come this September, you better believe I am streaming. I don't care what threats get thrown out. You're not going to get me twice. It's not going to happen. We're going to stream the second debate in September. You better believe that. But let's get back to it.
Biden's problem, again and again, wasn't his inability to build momentum. It was his inability to keep it. I'll give you another example. A very sort of surreal moment during the debate where the two candidates are literally talking about who's better at golf. The whole thing is silly, but watch how that exchange ends.
I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest rival. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I had, how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's not act like
Joe.
President Donald Trump didn't prepare nearly as much. He went to a rally. He did podcast interviews, and if someone asked him, "How are you preparing?" He said, "I'm preparing by taking questions from you," which is not traditional debate prep.
I like the way that Donald Trump did that. Donald Trump said, "I debate by taking questions from the fans." So Donald Trump taking questions for the fans is his way of practicing, getting prepped. Joe Biden was away for a whole week and came in with this bull crap because I was told this right here was going to happen. Let me see if I can find it. This right here was going to happen because we thought CNN. Now we got to give credit to CNN that they called the debate right down the middle. They won one-sided. We all thought that was going to be one-sided, but they wasn't. That was fair. That night, we still don't like Jake Tapper. We still don't like Dana Bash. We still can't stand them, but that night, they was fair. We got to give them that. But this right here is exactly what Donald Trump was going to do if Jake Tapper would have did anything different from what he did that night.
Hello and welcome to the first 2024 presidential debate hosted by CNN. I am Jake Tapper, and somewhere around here is my colleague, Dana Bash. I'd like to set the ground rules to this debate. First off, Biden is allowed to speak whenever he wishes. We will have commercial breaks whenever Biden feels the urge so that his needs can be taken care of. This may or may not include naps, energy boosts, or a snack such as ice cream. On the other hand, Trump is not allowed to speak unless spoken to, and if he interrupts Joe speaking, we're automatically going to deduct 10 points from Trump and Door. As the hall moderator of this debate, I can call it off at any moment and declare it a complete victory for Biden. Where did Trump go? He was just here.
Oh my God, that get me every time. But see, Jake Tapper, he didn't get that because he called it right down the middle. So, you know, he didn't get that. But that right there was what going to happen if he would have did anything different from what he did that night. So I think he knew that right there was coming. So he decided to call it fair and square. So he saved himself that right there. Well, let's get back to the video though. boy, that right there was hilarious, man. That was hilarious.
Not only do traditional debate prep, which is, you know, you have a mock debate in a mock studio, he holed up with his advisors at Camp David for an entire week.
Even during Biden's closing statement, you know, the moment where it's just you and America, no sparring, no improvising. All you have to do is leave the viewer with a lasting impression of hope and strength. But Biden struggled about 55 seconds in.
What I did, when, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies.
But you know what really did Biden in? How we knew from almost the very start that Biden was outgunned. It wasn't the little slip-ups.
Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400.
It wasn't the fact that he repeatedly lost track of time.
We are the lowest trade deficit with China since 2010.
Thank you, President Biden. Thank you, President Biden.
And we should encourage businesses to have.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make childcare more affordable?
I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
no, I go back to the clip we showed you at the very start. The first moment that set the stage for Joe Biden to fail. But this time, watch how Trump made the most of it.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
I think that was one of the absolute low points for the president in last night's debate. He lost his train of thought. He had an exceptionally long pause.
Biden couldn't get back to the road. He just failed to articulate the case for his own presidency. And it happened early in the debate when there's the largest viewership, and it's going to make history. It was a moment.
I mean, that right there is right, though. Like I said before, Joe Biden was lying his teeth out. I mean, the man was just lying all night. And I like what Richard said right here. They keep saying President Trump is lying, but they never say what he lied about. I want to know what he lied about. That's the thing. They just trying to help Joe Biden by saying that, well, Joe Biden did terrible. So let's just find something that Donald Trump did that was wrong. Oh, yeah, Donald Trump was lying, though. Even though Joe Biden was bad, but Donald Trump lied all night. That's what they're going to go with because they're trying to help Joe Biden, like whatever way they can. They trying to help this man. Donald Trump just dog walked him. He just destroyed him like we all knew he would do. I mean, it's nothing to talk about. It's like, come on. Let me go to this right here. Now, Joe Biden, He literally said that he can beat Donald Trump in golf.
The green's right over there. It's that way. Look, sir, just bend a little bit that way and swing away and just straight up. It's fine. Great.
I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6.
I don't know about that, Biden. I don't know about that.
When people will remember forever, as long as they remember these debates.
Now, for all of Biden's weakness, I don't want to leave you with the impression that Trump only showed strength.
I think he just showed that he is going to double and triple down on the same sort of rhetorical strategies that he's been using since he got into politics. Ignore the question, hit his talking points over and over again. If you're confronted with an inconvenient fact, just lie or make something up.
Trump was so often either unable or unwilling to give straight answers on so many questions. On the Israel-Hamas war, he ranted about NATO. On climate change, he talked about policing. On the January 6th insurrection, he talked about everything but.
What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world.
And I also don't want to leave you with the impression that Biden could do no right. It was a 90-minute debate. Biden did have powerful moments.
He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began. Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. Never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Never heard so much foolishness. The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. What are you talking about?
God.
You have the morals of an alley cat.
But most people, when they watch debates, I don't know if it's so much about
I said that. I told y'all that's exactly where he was going to go with. We all knew that Joe Biden was going to come with, you a convicted fella, as if, see, the man, you can tell he's senile. Like, how can you go to a debate saying, you know what? Because if I'm thinking, I'm like, why would I go to this debate and call Donald Trump a convicted felon, but my son is a convicted felon? You know what I'm saying? So I would have kept that in process. Okay, I'm not going to call Trump that because my son is that. But Joe Biden literally went in there just to be able to call this man that. And then I'm hearing that he had an earpiece in his ear. Now, I don't know how true that is. Do any of y'all know that they said that Joe Biden had an earpiece in his ear the whole entire night and people was coaching him on what to say? I don't know how true that is. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Have y'all heard that? Have y'all heard anything of not Donald Trump, but Joe Biden having an earpiece in his ear and he's being coached on what to say was the reason why he kept looking down and he kept, you know what I'm saying, like forgetting his lines and all that. Okay, I think he said Renee. Say, yes, he did. A lot of people said that. A lot of people said that. Salute to everybody that's here. We still got over 1,000 people in here. Please hit that like button. And if you in here and this your first time here, please subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on this great content because we definitely got more live streams coming. And here we go right here. Appreciate you, Miss Diane Haymaker. Became a YouTube member. Thank you, Miss Diane. Anybody that wants to, that join the channel, I really appreciate it. Become a member. Your comment will stand out more because you will be in green. So if you would like to become a member of the channel, please do. It helps me out a lot. And then it helps your comment be seen more too because your comment would stand out more than everybody else's. So I appreciate everybody who's showing support. Thank you very much for that. Let's get back to the video.
Scores the most points. It might be more about who gives up the most points, especially in a race where the candidates are neck and neck in the polls, where both are so passionately disliked by so many people, and where each candidate's competence, their fitness to be president, was on trial.
Okay, well, the thing about Biden is that he's changed. And the thing about Trump is that he hasn't changed. And here's what I mean by both. Biden was incapable of articulating a case for himself. He struggled to connect basic facts together. struggled to make the elevator pitch for his presidency, which you'd think would be a relatively simple thing for an experienced politician to do.
He continually lost his train of thought, mumbling, bumbling, stumbling, fumbling, dazed and confused.
He did nothing to disabuse, I think, the country of the notion that he is very old and was lost frequently.
Trump, meanwhile, made wild claims. He lied. He exaggerated. He refused to say he'll accept the election result. In any normal time, under any normal circumstances, that would be the story today. But it's not the reaction people are having.
Right now, Democrats are torn. Did Biden just have a bad night, or is he a bad candidate? Did he lose the debate, or has he lost?
See, that right there is always a thing. Like with them not wanting to admit that Joe Biden just did bad, they always got to throw in that Donald Trump lied. Donald Trump lied all night, but that wasn't the topic because Joe Biden was just so bad, so everybody talking about that and not Donald Trump lied. See, I told you that they are going to do this. They're going to try to find a way to help Joe Biden by saying that, like these Democrats, they won't even come out and just say, you know what, got to give it to Donald Trump. He went straight through Biden. They always got to add something towards it. They always got to add something that Donald Trump lied about, but yet they can't point out what he lied about. Appreciate that, L. Berg, for the $2. Thank you. Appreciate that. Everybody who always show love to the chat, to the channel. I really, really appreciate all the super chats, all the cash apps, the PayPals. I appreciate all the support y'all give me. Thank you very much. Like I said, man, I love doing this and it makes me want to continue to keep doing it more because I appreciate the support and stuff like that. Thank you very much for that. Say, hey, the real Adogg, love you and Doug. Keep it up. Oh, yeah, man. Salute to Doug, too, man. Good buddy of mine. Salute to Doug. You already know it. Let's get back to the video.
Lost his base.
I'm not going to spend all night with you talking about the last 90 minutes when I've been watching the last 3.5 years of performance.
You don't turn your back because of one performance. What kind of party does that?
His job was to calm his party, to make them feel that, yes, I can do this. I have 4 more years in me. He did not do that. He did the opposite of that.
I should say, it's not a given that any of this will be the deciding factor come election night. I mean, that's still more than 4 months away. And most Americans don't watch debates, but many swing voters do.
I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now.
Biden is not going anywhere if Biden doesn't want to go there. This is somebody.
But y'all look at this, though. I want y'all to look at this, though. But look how everybody just straight turned on Joe Biden after one debate. Oh, Joe Biden need to take a different course. I mean, now Gavin Newsom seems like he's the one that's trying to take up for Joe Biden. Oh, y'all can't be turning on Joe Biden like that. It seems like to me, Gavin Newsom don't want to be president. He don't want to replace Joe Biden. He seems like he don't want nothing to do with it. Because either way it go, I've said this plenty of times, it don't matter who y'all replace Joe Biden with, y'all have nobody over there that's going to defeat Donald Trump. Y'all have absolutely nobody. Nobody. So you might as well just leave Joe Biden put. So all this panicking saying they need to hurry up, that you think y'all can put somebody in there 5 months before election and think they just going to come straight on in and just destroy Donald Trump. Because you do know all that campaign money Joe Biden got don't not go to the next person. So, I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, they might well just leave him up in there. If you ask me, they might well just leave him up in there.
Who has been running for president off and on since 1983. And I don't know that he would be willing to walk away from the presidency after one term.
One thing watching American politics the last few years has taught me is to never declare anything impossible, because anything can happen.
And if Democrats do decide to pressure their leader to step down in favor of someone who will give them more of a fighting chance against Donald Trump, time is running out. And their greatest concern, that even when Biden wasn't stumbling, he was ineffective. And that Trump, by comparison, has never looked stronger.
There you go, right there, up on that right there. That right there pretty much just told you everything you need to know. That told you everything you need to know. The deep state, I love when Donald Trump dropped these ads right here.
This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will liberate America from these villains once and for all.
And another thing is, Joe Biden did so bad that on Truth Social, Donald Trump dropped an ad where he didn't have to say anything. Donald Trump didn't have to say nothing. He just dropped this ad and just show you how embarrassing Joe Biden was. This right here is crazy. Check this out.
Please welcome the 45th president.
We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing 18 million people, many from prisons, many from mental institutions? Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months, and then it blew up under his leadership. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country. My retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation.
I mean, come on, man. You just love to hear Donald Trump talk. The man speak facts, and that right there is just what they cannot handle. Now, we all know about the J6 situation. So we definitely finna go ahead and pull that up. Now, y'all check this out right here. Now, Nancy Pelosi went on live TV today and sit up there and told a lie. I mean, a straight lie. It don't make no sense. And Dana Bash did not call her out at all for this crap. Now, listen to this woman, Nancy Pelosi, admit to this. Listen to this.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
That is not a question of how they have. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just.
So there you go right there. She literally say, I take responsibility. Then she go right up on the show this morning and just straight lie. She just get on the show and just straight lie in front of everybody. Now, let's go ahead and get to this part right here, because I want all y'all to see this, even though some of you might have seen some of it, because I didn't show all the video earlier today. But let's get to this right quick. I want to show y'all this and just look how this woman just straight lied. And Dana Bash said nothing about it because I guess she enjoyed it. She enjoyed it, the lie. So let's get straight to it, y'all. Look at this crap right here.
A new CBS YouGov poll out this morning that was taken after the debate finds that 72% of voters now say they do not think President Biden has the mental or cognitive health to serve as president. Here with me now is one of the top officials in the Democratic Party, a close ally of President Biden, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Thank you so much for being here. What is your reaction to that poll? 72% of voters say they don't think that the president is fit mentally or cognitively to be president.
Well, what do they think about the other guy? Do they think that he has the integrity to be president?
Y'all seen exactly what she just did. Dana Bash asked her about Joe Biden, and she turned right around and said, well, what you think about Donald Trump? She ain't asked you about Donald Trump, Nancy. She asked you, what do you think about Joe Biden? And she just jumped straight to Donald Trump. This is just crazy. I told you, this woman showed up on CNN drunk. Look at this.
After that performance, let us not make a judgment about a presidency on one debate. Let's talk about what it means to people in their lives. And that's why you're not seeing much change in the polls on this. The difference between Joe Biden and the former president is so clear. If you are a woman and you care about your reproductive freedom and your health, and women do, you see a complete difference between enforce a woman's right to choose on the part of Joe Biden and a ban on abortion with the other guy. If you care about job creation in America, 15 million more jobs created by Joe Biden, the worst job performance record since Herbert Hoover for the other guy. If you're concerned about saving the planet, you're a young person, you're caring about the planet and its future, Joe Biden, the first person in the Congress to pass a resolution to study climate change in the 80s, even before I was in Congress, a guy who goes to the fossil fuel industry and says, give me $1 billion so I can reverse what happened in the IRA to save the planet. The list goes on and on, whether you're talking about guns and the rest. And 16 Nobel laureates said when it comes to inflation, if the other guy gets elected, inflation will soar because of his fiscal policies. So it's not about performance in terms of a debate. It's about performance in a presidency. And I want you to know that the fact is that the reaction to the lies of Donald Trump is something that maybe TV isn't focusing on, but people are. And to have a
So according to her, Donald Trump told lies, but Joe Biden didn't. Look at Nancy Pelosi's eyes. You can't tell me this woman ain't just got through drinking some cheese. You can tell she just drunk some whiskey. This woman just drunk something. Look at her eyes. They are bloodshot red. They are watery. And she just sitting up here blatantly just lying. Every time she's asked a question about Joe Biden, she jumps right back to Donald Trump. She just jumps right back to Donald Trump. She won't answer any questions about Joe Biden. Should he stay in office? Should he step down, let somebody else come up? Her and Kamala do the same thing. They refer everything back to Donald Trump. It is just sad seeing this. These people are just bona fide liars.
Debate where you have to spend half your time negating what he said because he knows nothing about the truth. One side of the screen, you have integrity. The other side, you have dishonesty.
Yeah, and we have definitely been pointing out the about 30 falsehoods that we heard from former President Trump. But what you just did, Madam Speaker, was make the argument for Joe Biden's reelection in a way that he did not on Thursday night. Isn't that a problem?
I don't think it's a problem. It's a bad night. I see everything as an opportunity. Okay, you want to contrast what these people can do in a debate if you're not even telling the truth, or do you want to talk what it means to you in your life when this person becomes president? This president, look, he lied about January 6th. This was a horrible event in our country's history. He was an president of the United States who instigated.
Man, this woman is lying all through. We just played the video. She literally admitted that J6 was her fault. And then she get right here on CNN and still blames it on Donald Trump. Like, what y'all put in the comment section, what did Nancy Pelosi drink the night before? Did she drink some vodka, some whiskey, something? Did she drink a beer, a 211, a King Cobra? What did this woman drink? Her eyes is watery. She slipping over her words. I see Nathan Brent said some vodka. I need to know, what did this woman drink? I mean, golly, all these lies about Donald Trump is just crazy. This is insane.
An insurrection. He tries to blame it on me. Yeah, I planned my own assassination when he was sitting on his butt in the White House, not sending the National Guard and lying about it on the show. And people are well-meaning. I had one of your reporters say, did he really send the National Guard? No, if they don't even know, then how can we make a judgment about how other people evaluate a presentation? So this is a dangerous person, as opposed to a person who, again, saved our country from COVID. The first bill we passed, shots in the arms, money in pocket, people in jobs, children at school. This president, with his denial and delay, caused people to die.
Yeah, and I completely understand what you're doing, and you are making the arguments that you are hoping that Democratic voters listen to about why Donald Trump is bad and shouldn't be put back in the White House. But the reality is there are still a lot of concerns that Joe Biden is.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem right there. Just like you say, Trump asked for the National Guard, but Pelosi refused them and then turned around and just blamed it on Donald Trump. We literally played the video and she's still sitting up here lying, saying it's Donald Trump's fault. And Dana Bash ain't giving her no pushback at all. No pushback at all. Just sitting up here letting this woman sit up here and lie. She showed up on y'all show drunk from last night. The chat saying she done drunk some vodka or something. In line.
The person to get you to that point, to making sure that Donald Trump is not back in there. No. Some prominent columnists, several newspaper editorial boards are just simply calling for Biden to step aside for the good of the country. Tom Friedman, a friend of President Biden's, wrote the following. He wrote, Joe Biden, a good man and a good president, has no business running for re-election. If he insists on running and he loses to Trump, Biden and his family and his staff and party members who enabled him will not be able to show their faces. What do you say to that? Is there any part of you that believes that President Biden should step aside?
I want you to know I came home to California, South and North, and people are for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They have some judgment about a person who sat on that, stood on that stage and lied. If you're just talking about the debate, I'm respectful of some of the opinions that people have, but I also am respectful of the grassroots. My people are very much Biden, Kamala Harris, and this is an opportunity for Joe Biden to go out there and show he has the stamina and the rest. And by the way, while the press, and for some reason they don't, there are healthcare professionals who think that Trump has dementia.
Oh my God. Now she's saying that they saying Donald Trump got dementia. Man, how can Dana Bash sit up here and listen to this crap? Should we keep listening to this, or should we just stop listening to Nancy Pelosi? Because, I mean, a woman that sit here and blatantly lie like this. Now she's saying, just because they say that Joe Biden has dementia and he just lost, now she want to say, Donald Trump got dementia. What? Come on, man. That right there, we're going to leave Nancy Pelosi alone. I mean, just listening to this woman talk just make your head hurt. She just sits up her here and just straight lie. Just don't make no sense at all. I mean, come on, man. I think she needs some Bidenica.
If you're having trouble sleeping, ask your doctor about Bidenica, the sleep aid made from 100% Joe Biden press conference.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Bidenica has a patented blend of confusion and forgetfulness that will calm the most overactive brains.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives when you think about it.
When they sold out American jobs and killed the Keystone Pipeline, it kept me up all night worrying about how we'd pay our bills. But then I got Bidenica, and I've never slept better.
Sometimes when I get hopped up on sugar, my parents give me Bidenica so I pass out. Other times they give it to me during the day, probably so they can do the deed. Gross.
Warning: people who have used Bidenica have experienced rapid lying and an inability to secure the southern border. Others have hallucinated and fought breakfast cereals.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Ask your doctor if Bidenica is right for you.
Boy, that right there just don't make no sense at all. Now, this right here, let's get to the part. I mean, forget Nancy. All she doing is just sitting up here lying. This just don't make no sense at all. Let's get Trump campaign, the way Donald Trump's campaign reacted to all of this. And we almost towards the end. Let's get this right here up on screen real quick for y'all. So this right here is crazy.
President Biden seems satisfied with his debate performance, despite apparently dealing with a sore throat. But many Americans are not buying this excuse that Joe Biden's performance last night was because of a common cold.
Yeah, well, Caroline Leavitt is Donald Trump's 2024 National Press Secretary and a Trump campaign surrogate and joins us now. Caroline, good morning to you. So the word that we got before the debate is that President Biden sequestered for a week, team of 16 people. There were going to be scripted one-liners that I don't think he delivered any of those. But now we're hearing that he had a cold, and that's the excuse for his performance. What did you think about the debate last night, and how does Donald Trump feel about it?
Well, President Trump not only won last night's debate, he absolutely dominated last night's debate. He was strong, he was disciplined, he remained focused on the issues that matter to Americans at home. He pointed out the contrast in Joe Biden's America, where we have veterans living on our streets while illegal citizens are living in luxury hotels. He talked about the cost of living, how he's going to bring that down. He talked about the wars raging all over this world and how he's going to get us out of them. As for Joe Biden, it was a catastrophic performance last night. He was mumbling, bumbling. Oftentimes what he said was incomprehensible. And when you could make out what he was said, it was a whole bunch of lies. The Democrats are in disarray. As for our campaign, we couldn't be any prouder of President Trump.
Caroline, take a look at this breaking news report out of Axios. Quote, all, not some, not most, not a lot, all undecided voters in a U.S. swing states focus group hosted by pollster Frank Luntz said President Biden should be replaced as the Democratic nominee after watching his first presidential debate against former President Trump. It goes on to say Luntz, who has conducted presidential focus groups since 1996, said he never witnessed one reach a conclusion this overwhelming. And then add to that our own Jackie Heinrich reporting that a well-connected Democrat source told her last night after watching the debate, GOP has won the House and the Senate. So think about that for a moment. Forget just the White House. How confident are you and how confident is the Trump campaign that Republicans are going to take over D.C. come November?
Well, we've been confident this entire time, and our campaign and President Trump has been telling the world that Joe Biden is not fit to serve for another 4 years as commander-in-chief. The Democrats have been denying that reality. They've been refusing to look at the polls and I guess not talking to voters across this country who have been consistently saying that they don't feel confident in Joe Biden's ability to lead. And last night just proved our point. Joe Biden cannot be president for another 4 years. But unfortunately for the Democrat Party, as much as the whisper campaign will continue, it's far too late for them to throw another horse in this race. They're stuck with Joe Biden, and best of luck to them because President Trump has never been stronger. He's going to continue to campaign across this country. He'll be in the Commonwealth of Virginia today, going on offense in a deep blue state that hasn't been won by Republicans in years. But President Trump is going to win it because Americans are realizing he is the strong leader that we need to lead this country.
What do you think, Caroline, this debate will do for fundraising totals?
Well, we expect that our fundraising will continue to skyrocket as it has in so many of these big moments throughout the campaign. We're so grateful for the support that we receive. Anyone wanting to chip in for President Trump can go to donaldjtrump.com. This man is fighting to secure our southern border, fighting to rebuild our economy, bring down the cost of living for you at home. And we need all hands on deck.
I mean, at this point, we all support Donald Trump, and we know he's going to win. So we already know that Joe Biden, all these people are freaking corrupt. Now, the most cringe thing, I know a lot of y'all seen this when Jill Biden, I mean, this right here is something that, you know, you would tell your child if your child do good in school or something. I've never seen something that was more cringer than this right here. So I want y'all to see this. This right here does not make any sense. Look at this right here. Look at this.
I can't thank you all enough for staying and for being here and for all your support. Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Lie! Yes.
I mean, what kind of crap is that? I mean, that right there, and Joe just looking there like he just then won him a piece of butterscotch candy or something. I'm like, what kind of crap is this? Like they said, got about 15 people in the room. Like he just won something. I'm like, bro, I really just don't get it. But if you really want to listen to like Donald Trump, somebody who knows what's going on, somebody who's going to fix the problems, especially where Joe Biden done destroyed, this is what we want to hear.
Please welcome the 45th president.
We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing 18 million people, many from prisons, many from mental institutions? Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months, and then it blew up under his leadership. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country. My retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation.
There you go right there. As you can see, like, that's somebody that you need in office. Donald Trump, somebody who knows exactly what's going on. Now, if we even look at this, let me go to some of this right here. Let me take this back right here. Just the way it started. Let's share this tab right here. Let's share this right here. Let's see.
Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer a question and 1 minute each for responses and rebuttals. An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
When it's time for a candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on.
Then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do is try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought on a position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. But there's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of a household where the kitchen table, if the things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. Price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems. And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination that I was left with in corporate greed is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for an insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year. And the situation is and we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Thank you. President Trump?
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID. And when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID.
Yep.
He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you. President Biden?
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he had the greatest economy in the world. And, the fact of the matter is...
Y'all see how clear like it is for Donald Trump to just answer these questions? Joe Biden is just mumbling all over the place, and you can barely even hear anything that he's saying. But Donald Trump, you can hear him clear. Inflation high, the open border. It's a whole lot of problems, and Joe Biden just don't care. Joe Biden only cares about Joe Biden. He does not care about the American people at all.
That we found ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant. And the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can.
Am I allowed to respond to him?
Did y'all hear that lie? Listen to this lie Joe Biden just told. Listen to this lie real quick. Let me take it back. Listen to this lie.
More jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant. And the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have any, this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world.
That's a lie.
Like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can.
Am I allowed to respond to him?
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can do whatever you want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back. And he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing. And they don't know what they were doing. It was the worst, probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President Trump, over the last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt. Well, so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So, former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to
Man,
immigration.
Donald Trump is straight just destroying Joe Biden. Joe Biden stood up there and lied and said no troops died under his watch. Just stood up there and lied. I mean, come on. And shout out to Bruce for gifting 5 DAREALADOGG memberships. Thank you, Bruce. Y'all say, make sure y'all salute Bruce. If you got a membership and now your comment is green, make sure you say thank you to Bruce Rice for gifting y'all the memberships. Thank you, Bruce. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much, man. Anytime y'all show support to the channel, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much for that, man.
Later in this block, President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. what I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat
that right there was just terrible. Do y'all see how Donald Trump just had to kind of do like a double look? Because Joe Biden was over there fumbling and mumbling. Donald Trump had to literally look at him twice to try to make sure he all right. I mean, come on, man. That right there just tells you everything you need to know. Look how Trump just looks at him.
Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people, they cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people. What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
This is the first presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion pill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex, but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority.
That right there just go to show you, man. Donald Trump just straight, destroyed. I just wanted to show y'all just some of that right there. I understand everybody already has seen it and stuff like that. Still pissed off about not being able to go live when the debate happened, But it's okay. But salute to Tommy with the $10. Appreciate you, Adogg. Love your channel. Thank you. Like I said before, I appreciate everybody that shows support to the channel, all the super chats, cash apps. I appreciate it. Thank you all for your support, man. I really, really appreciate it. And like I said, though, we're gonna play this right here. We're gonna get ready and get up out of here, man. How long we been live? An hour and 40 minutes. Oh man, I didn't know we've been on that long. But we definitely, let's go ahead and play this. Hold on, let me go up here real quick.
Hello and welcome to the first 2024 presidential debate hosted by CNN. I am Jake Tapper, and somewhere around here is my colleague, Dana Bash. I'd like to set the ground rules to this debate. First off, Biden is allowed to speak whenever he wishes. We will have commercial breaks whenever Biden feels the urge so that his needs can be taken care of. This may or may not include naps, energy boosts, or a snack such as ice cream. On the other hand, Trump is not allowed to speak unless spoken to, and if he interrupts Joe speaking, we're automatically going to deduct 10 points from Trump and Dore. As the hall moderator of this debate, I can call it off at any moment and declare it a complete victory for Biden. Where did Trump go? He was just here.
All right, y'all, we had a good show, man. We might end up going live tomorrow night. I see a lot of y'all saying play the Bidenica. Y'all want me to play the Bidenica? All right, let's go ahead and play this right here. So if you're having a hard time sleeping, remember Donald Trump wanted me to show this to my audience. So I made sure I let them know that I'll show y'all.
If you're having trouble sleeping, ask your doctor about Bidenica, the sleep aid made from 100% Joe Biden press conference.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Bidenica has a patented blend of confusion and forgetfulness that will calm the most overactive brains.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
When they sold out American jobs and killed the Keystone Pipeline, it kept me up all night worrying about how we pay our bills. But then I got Bidenica, and I've never slept better.
Sometimes when I get hopped up on sugar, my parents give me Bidenica so I pass out. Other times they give it to me during the day, probably so they can do the deed. Gross.
Warning. People who have used Bidenica have experienced rampant lying and an inability to secure the southern border. Others have hallucinated and fought breakfast cereals.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Ask your doctor if Bidenica is right for you.
Oh my God. So make sure y'all get y'all some Bidenica if you want to sleep better. So Trump did, he wanted me to make sure that I showed y'all that. Shout out to everybody that showed so much support tonight, everybody that showed up. I see a lot of y'all laughing at that Bidenica. Donald Trump literally uploaded that on his Truth Social. That's why you've been seeing like Benny Johnson, you've been seeing me and some more people been showing it. It is hilarious. But like I said, we definitely finna go ahead and get up out of here. Like I said, I appreciate all the support, all the super chats, everybody that showed up. If you haven't seen my latest video of Nancy Pelosi exposing herself earlier today, make sure you go to the channel and click on my latest video. Let me know that you came from the live stream. I really, really appreciate it. And like I said, we're going to get ready and get up out of here. Y'all want me to play the Bidenica drop one more time before I leave? Let me know. Y'all want to see the Bidenica video one more time, and then we get up out of here. I don't know who is Corn Pop. He said Corn Pop. I don't know.
If you're having trouble sleeping, ask your doctor about Bidenica, the sleep aid made from 100% Joe Biden press conference.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Bidenica has a patented blend of confusion and forgetfulness that will calm the most overactive brains.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
When they sold out American jobs and killed the Keystone Pipeline, it kept me up all night worrying about how we pay our bills. But then I got Bidenica, and I've never slept better.
Sometimes when I get hopped up on sugar, my parents give me Bidenica so I pass out. Other times they give it to me during the day, probably so they can do the deed. Gross.
Warning: people who have used Bidenica have experienced rampant lying and an inability to secure the southern border. Others have hallucinated and fought breakfast cereals.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Ask your doctor if Bidenica is right for you.
He said, who wants the corn pop? Well, like I said, salute to everybody that came out. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Like I said, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.